How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, great, thank you. So what drew you to this story, especially with it being a Titanic story? What drew you? What was the inspiration behind working on this?
So essentially, we had never heard of this story, and there was a regional play in the back in the States about the Senate investigation, and we were intrigued by the fact that we thought we knew a lot about Titanic, but we never knew that this happened, and we wondered why we never knew, because accountability is one of the debates that still happens today as to why wasn't anybody held accountable, why did no one get in trouble for it, why did the controversy continue yet justice never served. And so we started to look into it, and we realized that that is the story. The story is how things were shoved under the rug, how things were deemed more important politically, and essentially folks moved on from it and left us with nothing. So
So how much research had to go into Unsinkable? Do you have to go back to the actual Titanic story? What was the research like for this?
Well, it was interesting that every character that appears in the film had to be, we had to know as much about them as possible. So we started with the transcripts from the inquiry itself. So basically those portions of the film are entirely word for word exactly what was said in those moments. So, and then when we found the ones that we liked the most, that told the story the best, then we did research. We had a team of researchers do an extensive deep dive into their lives and their stories to make sure that we were showing those characters properly. So
with the trailer, there seems to be water scenes. With the trailer, there seems to be a lot of water scenes regarding the actual Titanic. What was it like shooting those scenes?
Yeah, so we were lucky to have found we searched all over the world for the right tank size to shoot the water scenes, and we never found anything quite right for what we were doing, because we needed something a bit wider than had been done in the past, because a lot of our water scenes are after the ship had already sank and people were just abandoned at sea. So then we were lucky enough to find an abandoned Olympic-sized swimming pool that we painted black and filled it with spring water and sort of created our own Atlantic Ocean. So, yeah.
Is there a lot of homages to the original film of Titanic? Homages? Is there quite a lot of homages, little nods to the original Titanic?
No, we certainly had to honor the original James Cameron's Titanic, in the sense that it's most of what people know of Titanic is from his film. So therefore, we didn't want to contradict anything that we were doing, because what he did was quite factual, but also any interpretations he made are the interpretations that people understand as fact. So we definitely had to skate a fine line there.
How was casting? How did you come about casting and finding the right people for this? When it came to casting, how was it to find the right people for this?
Oh, casting. Casting was interesting because we had a lot of interest based on the subject matter, so we were inundated by quite a few actors' reels and such. So it took a team of people to sort of narrow it down into people that we even had the time to sift through. Some of the characters were thousands of people that were trying to get them. So it was an interesting process, but yeah.
If you could sum up this film in 3 words, how would you sum this film up in 3 words?
I believe that Unsinkable is the more honest telling of what the aftermath of Titanic. It's the more personal stories, the more sort of not about so much the spectacle. We certainly have some spectacle in there, but it's more of how it affected the individual. So it's a closer, more intimate look at the personal suffering and the tragedy.
And then lastly, what can we expect from you in the future?
We do have a few new projects in the works. One particularly large one that we'll be filming in Italy over the summer, sort of addressing the sensitivities of pandemic and plague and such. So that's all I can say about it for now, but thank you.
Well, thank you so much for your time, and have a great night tonight.
Thank you.